Hey, I'm Corinne and I'm the founder of Steckled, the tool that helps PMs build the right thing at the right time. Today we're going to be talking about how to run a feature kickoff meeting. We're going to be discussing some of the challenges, what can happen if you run a good feature kickoff meeting, as well as how to run one, who to invite, what to talk about, and when to have it. All right, so what are some of the challenges of a feature kickoff meeting? First is that if it's a poorly run meeting, it's just going to be a waste of everyone's time, as with most meetings. Another thing is that if you don't have the meeting at all, then that can result in a lot of back and forth and wasted time between the product, engineering, support teams, so on and so forth. Another thing is that you may not always get total consensus in a feature kickoff meeting. Maybe some people don't like the feature or disagree with how it's being built. That's your job as a PM, is to try to build some kind of consensus around the product. The good thing is that if you do this well, you'll be able to get a lot of feedback from your team. You're going to be able to get buy-in from your team, so everyone hopefully will be excited about this new feature that you're building and understand why you're building it. And another thing is it's just going to get everyone on the same page to prevent a lot of that back and forth that can sometimes happen. All right, so now going on to how to run the actual meeting and who to invite. So you're going to want to invite yourself, obviously, the product manager. You're going to want to make sure your designer is there if you have one, or your UI UX person. You're going to want to make sure an engineer is there, and if you can, an engineering manager would be great. You're going to also want to make sure you invite your product marketer so that they know what's coming down the pipeline and how they're going to market it once it's released. And you're also probably going to want to invite a customer support representative so that they know that this is also coming down the pipeline and they can plan and prepare for how to support users using this new feature. Okay, so you have all the right people in the room. Now, when do you have it? Well, you're going to want to make sure that you have this after you've put this feature on the roadmap, so you know that this is something for sure that you want to build. You don't want to have a feature kickoff meeting for something that's never going to be built. It's just a waste of everyone's time. So make sure that you have this feature kickoff meeting once you realize that this is on the roadmap and it will be coming up soon. You also want to only have it after you've thought about this feature a bit. You don't want to go cold turkey into this meeting just kind of brainstorming and spitting out ideas for how you think this might work and why you think it might be needed. You really want to make sure that you have a really clear idea of why it is that you need to build this thing. But you also want to make sure that you're having it before you actually put it in the backlog. So somewhere in the sweet spot is after you've thought it through a bit, but before it goes into the backlog and before it actually begins work. So somewhere in between there is a good idea. You'll probably be able to feel it out based on how your team feels and what your current workload is at the moment. Okay, so what do you talk about in a feature kickoff meeting? Well, you're going to run through that rough spec that I talked about earlier. You're going to want to talk about what it is that you're building, why you're building it, who you're building it for, and how you think it may work. This is a great time to bring up the user journey and maybe do some story mapping of how the user is going to use this feature, when they're going to use it, and how you see them getting value out of it. Once you run through the rough spec, the next thing to do is to get some feedback. Maybe your teammates have a different idea of how this could be done. Maybe there's even a better solution out there that you hadn't thought of before. So once you run through the spec, make sure you get some feedback from your team and you address any of their concerns about it. And then once everyone knows what they're building, why they're building it, has had any of their feedback or questions addressed, it's time to get to work. All right, so we talked about some of the challenges of feature kickoff meetings, what can go well when you have a good feature kickoff meeting, as well as who to invite to a feature kickoff meeting, when to have it, and what to discuss. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to our blog at getspeckled.com/blog. Just drop your email there, and every Sunday we send out the top stories of the week for PMs at small software companies. In the meantime, I hope you have a great feature kickoff meeting.